might recall during the Trump years, a lot of focus on the fact that Donald Trump seemed to be most interested of all of the things he can do as president in going and playing golf, going to his own properties and just spending time there, dispensing with the whole governing thing. And he did that a lot and we criticized him for it. And thus, it might now be time to criticize Joe Biden because apparently he's also been taking quite a bit of vacation in the limited time that he's had as president so far. Here's an analysis, admittedly by the Daily Mail, but of these trips, comparing different presidents across time. So you have there in the first 500 days in office, they have different locations that he's visited, how many days he's been, for instance, at Camp David, which admittedly Camp David is not, it's not Mar-a-Lago. It's a little bit more official than that, but they're counting that as a vacation day, I guess. They're calculating 188 vacation days. I'm going to guess that that is a bit of an overestimate, but it is still not 30. It's not 60. Anyway, they have Donald Trump as having 381 days in one term. They're projecting that Biden will have 188 at the same time. And it looks like Obama had 328 days over 2 terms. Biden has said of spending time in the White House, it's a gilded cage. He says, every time I get a chance, I go home to Delaware. You think I'm joking, I'm not. So he's taking time off too. It is not the same amount as Trump, and it is possible they're actually working vacations in a way that Donald Trump's clearly were not. But Brett, what do you make of this?
It's no surprise that Joe Biden's first term has been spent so much on vacation, because when a lot of us voted for him, it was our last resort.
Okay, moving on to our next topic.
Red skeleton joke.
Thank you. Yes, and look, I'm mad, but I also know that when he's in DC, he's not doing much. So I don't know how much more mad I should be. Like when he goes away and does nothing at Camp David rather than do nothing in the Oval Office. I'm a little bit more mad. I am, but both are bad.
It's anyway,
like people really like that joke. I don't like that they're encouraging you.
I feel like I'll tell more during the next break. I feel like a parent, like a concerned parent who is like, listen, I don't like where you are, but at least I know you're safe. Like, I'm glad you called. It's like when they call you from like some other state, you're just like, well, I'm not happy, but at least I know where you're at now. You shouldn't have lied to me and told me you were gonna forgive student debt, but at least I know that you're someplace, you're not at home tonight, but at least thank you for calling me when you were there.
Yeah. Anyway, really fast, George W. Bush took 1,020 vacation days over 8 years, mostly spending time on his ranch in Texas. That is more vacation than most people will get in their entire lives in a working class job. It
depends on what they're doing. I don't think they're actually explicitly vacation days. Like, is it work from home days?
It is probably a mix, but
in that case,
don't
I've
think
taken
they went there
600
because
vacation days in a row, John.
No, but okay. So here, maybe I'm wrong. When George W. Bush would go to, what was the name of his ranch?
Don't tell the original one. What the name of it? N-word Head Ranch?
No, not that. Wasn't that what's his face?
That's Rick.
It was Rick Perry. Anyway, when he would go there, did he go there because he knew he could accomplish as much or more than he could in the White House?
I'd argue he could accomplish at the time. It depends. No, you could probably accomplish more by being in the White House. You have people come in, you do things, obviously. Also, it's your house too. That's
You're
also
already
your home.
Vacationing.
So all these people who are like, "Oh, I do better work from home." You live in the White House. It's just a longer walk from like your bathroom to your office.
Yeah, and my issue, exactly. My issue isn't that it's 188 days rather than 160 days. It's that it is a lot of trips and stuff. And it's not like he goes back to Delaware every time he has a major win as a treat. Like, what is he accomplishing? Fine, if you're just as effective there, that's cool. But I'm gonna need to see you accomplish something. If you don't accomplish anything, then best case scenario, it's because you're vacationing so much. Like that's actually being charitable at that point to assume that.
There's a difference between being just as effective in DC as you would be in Delaware and being effective at all.
That's true. That's true.
Zero can be the same as zero, no matter where it is,
That's true. And look, some people are pointing out very rightly that there's also the concern, and we alluded to this, but that Trump was going in many cases to literally his own businesses that then money would have to be spent by the government, by the taxpayers that go to his businesses. And I get it, that's true. This is not the exact same thing as with Trump, but he is taking a lot of time off. I want to be consistent because I'm stupid. There's no reason to be, there's no benefit to it, but I feel like I should be. So I'm gonna be consistent about the vacationing. It's not the exact same thing, we're adding the context, but.
Oh yeah, 100%, I agree with that. Like there's a huge difference between going to Delaware, which is like close, or Camp David or something, and going to your own business and essentially stealing taxpayer money and giving it back to yourself. Huge difference.
Now, really fast, I do want to just mention something that's up on CNN. It is an analysis talking with the people who basically manage the PR and social media for Biden. Them saying that they've got this deep dysfunction among White House aides. They said there's 70 people on staff to help create digital content and manage the social media accounts for the president, which, yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. That staff needs a certain number of people. 70 seems a lot, and but maybe it takes so many people to find stuff to talk about and be enthusiastic about when the president isn't really producing the best raw content for you to then work with. Anyway, they give you a lot of information about how he functions. That they focus on local newspaper coverage of his speeches more so than on social media, like conversations about it and all that. They say that the president is still trying to calibrate himself to the office. They were gonna do this thing where they did monthly town halls, but then they thought maybe that was outdated. Again, all of this stuff is fine. You can do all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, your communication is only so good as the stuff you have done to communicate. And I wish there was more of a focus on actually like racking up W's that you could then go to a press conference to talk about. Focus on the first part. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.